January is known as the dumping ground for mediocre films every single year. But when I saw the trailer for Wolfman, directed by the same guy who did Upgrade and Invisible Man, it made me excited we would have at least one gem to start off 2025. Unfortunately, while Wolfman has some cool ideas, it's half-baked in almost every way. Let's dig in. Let's start off with the most impressive aspect of the film, the practicality. They hid how the Wolfman would look in the official trailers and posters, which got me excited about how the final product would look. While the prosthetics are impressive and the creature is terrifying, the outcome is not as remarkable as we would like. I think that the way they did the main character's slow transformation into the Wolfman was very compelling. The body horror was done pretty well. I really like the slow turn and how we get to see his point of view and how he's turning. I just felt like the final product looked a little too human-like and not enough werewolf and hairy-like. Christopher Abbott, not to be mistaken for Kit Harington, who happened to be in a werewolf film last year.
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and they're the same picture.
Family man who's trying to rekindle the troubles his family is facing by taking them to the middle of nowhere from the big city and distractions. Unfortunately, their bonding time is interrupted as they get chased and hunted down by a mysterious creature. Abbott and Gardner, two actors I really like, do the best they can with the material they're given, but unfortunately their best efforts are let down by a script that doesn't give them time to have authentic chemistry or characterization. Simply put, you care about these characters because the actors are charismatic and do their best effort, not because of what is written and how they're put together. Couple that with themes of generational trauma and trying to break the cycle, which is very interesting for like a werewolf film because werewolfism is passed down. I thought that was really cool that they introduced that here. But unfortunately, that's also half-baked and becomes redundant by the end of the film because they hit it on its head multiple times throughout the movie to the point where, like, I get what you're trying to do. Let's expand or move forward and let's talk about where this character is coming from. Luckily, the filmmaking is really strong, building tension consistently so you can stay engaged for most of the film. I was half covering my face for a good chunk of this film, just like the girl in the poster, only it losing some gas towards the end because the movie never escalates. I was waiting for the switch to happen, but unfortunately it never does. The movie doesn't escalate in a way that where it feels like it's getting to this grand finale. By the time you get to the end, you're kind of like, okay, that's it? Really winning more from the film. It doesn't give you a bad taste in your mouth, but you kind of just feel whelmed.
I am trot, whelmed, and feeling the aster.
And while the threats end up feeling kind of minimal and the film started to feel like it's starting to turn its wheels a little bit, the movie does subvert expectations in a very interesting and excited way. What I thought going in terms of what the Wolfman story was going to do and what it ended up doing was really interesting and a very nice thing for them to add to the story to hook me back in. Unfortunately, like everything else in the film, it's not developed fully. I wish the movie spent more time developing these characters and what they were going through and the gaping hole in their relationships and their characterization, so you really care for that switch to happen. They spent a lot of time in the beginning of the movie kind of explaining something that they didn't really need to go too depth into and not leaving enough time for the actual main characters that we're here to see. And the movie also introduced some cool new lore and aspects to werewolves in this film, which I feel like this movie took a good positive step forward in modernizing the werewolf, because obviously we haven't got that many werewolf movies in the last couple years that had like some real staying power. And there's some elements in here that I thought were really great. Actually kind of like looking through the perspective of the werewolf and how that's very different, why werewolves and humans don't get along. I really liked how they did that. I just wish that they used it in one of the most important parts of the film where this would have elevated the film to another level. They dropped the ball there where they used it to explain like the allegory of this aging or big gap that this family's having in terms of connection. But when it came down to some action sequences that I thought could use it, they kind of throw it away. And I know I'm breaking down some of the negative aspects of the film, but the movie is not bad. I was thrilled through most of it. It's not boring in any aspect. The actors are all doing their best, and the prosthetics look really good. The gore is solid. It's just that the movie is kind of at a mediocre temper's pace. Unfortunately, I can't recommend you run out and go see this movie in the theaters because it doesn't have anything that's too theatrical for it to feel like you have to go and see it on the biggest screen. It doesn't feel like a streaming movie, I'll say that. It looks better and it's acted better than that. The filmmaking is better than that, but the story is where the film is let down, which is unfortunate because the movie has some fascinating ideas, but a lot of it is going to be forgotten as it is thrown into the January mediocre movie dump pile that we get every year. So with that said, I'm going to give Wolfman a C. Question of the day is, what is your favorite movie that features a werewolf? Drop your answers down below and you can watch more of my content right now.